Right, Javel, let's go. I'm going to this is like a really long game, so might not do the entire thing, but gonna like at least make sure that I cover everything that I see that is important. But yeah, if I talk about every little thing for 24 minutes, that will be 3 hours long. So no one really wants that. All right, my audio's all good. So like, this isn't bad, but I'm not personally a big fan of where you're setting up. Just because you could be setting up somewhere that's like more aggressive. Like you could be setting up on this high ground already so that like when this echo came up here to contest your Ana, you're already waiting. Like usually just playing right beside your team isn't the way to go. Mostly just because you're like not setting up on a flank, which is what your goal is as Tracer. And like also you're not contesting high ground, which is also very good. Mostly your value comes from like creating like secondary angles of attack from your team. So playing with your team from the very start of the game when you have the opportunity to pretty much set up wherever you want is not ideal. But I like this flank. This is good. But you're kind of like running away from your own flank. Like you had no reason to reposition. If you're not given an actual reason to reposition as Tracer, then like why would you? Like you're already in a good position on that flank. You could have stayed there, but so you kind of just gave it up, went back to your team, and like tried to create a different crossfire, but it was unnecessary and wasted a lot of time. Yeah, like obviously you win this fight, but like I think if you just stayed where you were and you were a little more stubborn with your positioning, it'd be better. Like when you finally get good positioning as Tracer, you don't want to just give it up. You wanna fight for that. But yeah, my recommendation is just to be a little more stubborn with maintaining good positioning and not always repositioning like this. Like you keep doing it. Like you just need to have a plan and stick to it. Like your plan should be, let's say, oh well they have Mercy Lucio, so their Mercy's not going to get very much healing for their Lucio. So your plan is just flank behind them, do that same flank you did, but just stick with it and shoot their Mercy until she's fucking dead. And use your blinks and stuff to dodge like shots from the soldier and whoever else is a threat to you. But maintain that positioning and have a plan. This is awesome. That was nice aim assist. I mean good aim with the aim assist though. Like that's nice. No, that's really clean. Yeah. I mean, you could do like the blink melee onto that soldier to finish him off there instead of reloading, but like I understand on console it's a little bit more tricky. But I would definitely recommend still practicing that kind of stuff because like obviously like if you can pull off that stuff on console, then you're probably better than the vast majority of console players or Tracer players on console. Yeah, so again here you're just kind of frontlining and you're kind of playing the same lane as your team, and like they're kind of just walking into the rest of your teams, so you're able to kind of like get value this way. But usually, like in a higher rank, you'd kind of just like get spammed. Like they're going to be spamming down that part of the parts of the map where you typically are. They're going to just be spamming those areas because they're mostly where your team is. Which is why Tracer is better to be set up on a crossfire, because if they want to look at you to shoot you that way, it means they have to kind of like look away from your team. But if you're playing in front of your team, they can still shoot you and take advantage of the fact that you're very squishy with only 150 HP without having to, you know, like without the downside of having to turn away from the rest of your entire team, which is extremely valuable because your teammates will pop off with that value you give them in the form of space. At least most of the time. Like some games, there's just like too big of a team gap, and even if you're giving your other DPS the amount of space equivalent of 2 tanks, like they're still just gonna get diffed because the other enemy DPS is better. But like over many games, you will notice that you are actually getting huge amounts of value just by splitting attention, splitting the attention of their team onto you instead of just onto I guess not even just onto you, but like separating their attention from one point on the map to multiple, where they have to look at you from, or look at your team from multiple different angles. But like that's like the vast majority of what I'm noticing, because like mechanically you're fine. Like you're tracking. I mean, I don't know like controller that well, but you're doing just fine to me. I like this, that you're going on that far because she doesn't have her mercy. And this mercy just keeps rezzing in front of you, and well, you don't kill her, but it was the right call to try to. I would have recalled sooner and not risked my life, or like ideally I think that's what you should do, because even if you get that kill on the mercy, it's better to stay alive yourself. IMO. Most of the time, like there you'd be trading for 2, so it wouldn't be that bad, but it would be better to just like recall and try to kill her after recall and survive. Of course, after you use your recall, you don't want to like engage too hard. Just keep that in mind. But just value your life more than pretty much anything. Like more than most things. That was a good attempt at the pulse, because I liked how you're throwing into an area where there's just a bunch of people and it's hard for them to escape. But yeah, like mostly you're just like playing with your team too much, and that's the one thing I'm noticing. But I'm going to stop focusing on that and try to look for other things now. Because like I would say you don't value your life enough based on that one interaction, but like that was one play. Like I don't know if that's like a theme within your gameplay, or if that was just like that one time. But like, yeah, that was scary. Let me tell you why this is scary. It's because they have, they're using a lot of ults, and they also have Lucio with a speed boost. And what that means is that they're going to try to rush onto your team, or they're not going to necessarily all try to rush onto the team. It's not like they have a brawl comp, they have Fire Mercy and shit. But like a lot of their team is very brawl centric. Like these 3 want to get up in your face a lot of the time. Obviously Ramatra can be played a little bit like an Orisa, it doesn't have to be brawly, but within this environment I feel like he could get a lot of value, especially in ranked, by brawling with his Reaper and Lucio. So that's probably what's going to happen, and you just have to keep that in mind with like adjusting your positioning, because if you just like go in like this and then you recall, you have to keep in mind that while in most cases the enemy team might be like a little bit farther back where they can't really push you as hard immediately after you recall. In this case, they're kind of like speeding up and rushing into your team and taking a lot of space really fast. So that means you can't go as aggressive in and expect to be able to recall out, because you have to anticipate that they're going to be controlling the space that you're recalling to. In a higher rank, this Far Mercy would have honestly like 100% just predicted your recall there and one tapped you out of it most likely. So like you just have to be aware of the enemy team's pacing and looking at what positioning you actually have available to you and what position you're going to be able to maintain, because these people are going to rush the shit out of your team and your team's going to have to give them space. Your only real chance of getting value in a situation like this, where they're playing a much faster pace than you and they're also using lots of ults, is to like one clip something or land a pulse on something. They used beat, which stopped you from one clipping their mercy, unfortunately, and like obviously the situations is extremely hard because they're using everything. But like I think you mostly did a good job. It's just the unluckiness of not killing the mercy, and also just like either recalling sooner or going in from a safer position where you could recall to safely afterwards. One of the two. And one way you can do that more successfully and more consistently is by setting up on flanks. So instead of like playing from this position where you are, where you're just kind of going around in this area, your ideal positioning on Tracer is to be, oh my god, where am I? Sorry. Your ideal positioning is to be somewhere over here, like somewhere where you're literally behind them. Like if you just play here, you can kill their support still and also have this mega. And if you need to recall, when you do, you'll recall to here instead of like to here. And there, or I guess when you recall they were here, but like even if you recalled here, it's still dangerous because their team has a speed boost and is just going to rush up to you really fast. It'd be much better if you were here, so that even if they did choose to chase you after your recall, you're forcing them to leave the objective, and you're making a huge amount of space for your team by doing so. But if you're over here and you have to retreat away from them, you're kind of just giving them exactly what they want, which is all that space that they're taking so fast with their ultimates and stuff. Oh man, that's unfortunate. You didn't kill her. Yeah, I mean, I like how you're going for that Bara, because she's like her Mercy's not really pocketing her very well because she has a Lucio as her second support, I imagine. But it's just unlucky you didn't kill her. Just a little bit better aim. Like, I don't want to say hit up the aim trainer because sometimes their aim looks really good, but I think in stressful situations like this, you're starting to panic, and you lose your ability to aim properly, which is something I do too. But like, you should just like, even if you're like down 3 people, just like play it as if, or just play it as cool as if there was all 5 people live on your team. Like, just be like, it's okay, I'm gonna take my time with my aim, I'm not going to just like shake like crazy. Just try to relax, and that's really the key. Even if the in-game situation is stressful, you just have to keep in mind it's only a game, and it doesn't really matter if you doesn't really matter what happens. But as long as you can like focus on your aim and just stay relaxed and stay consistent, regardless of how bad it's looking for your team, you're gonna do better, I think, in those situations. Because you could have, like with the aim I saw earlier in the game, you could have definitely killed that Pharah, and even like, I think there was someone else at the end there, wasn't there, that you probably could have killed. Maybe, yeah, like it was the Lucio, right? Because this guy was like really low. Yeah, you could have killed him. Like with your aim, like earlier in the game, if you were just a little more relaxed here and took your time a little bit instead of rushing everything because you think you have to like pop off so fast because your team's falling apart, just take your time. Like it's better if you kill this Lucio in an extra quarter second than you just not killing him at all. But yeah, unlucky. All right, we're gonna keep going though. So basically, you want to be looking to set up on a flank, and like, I sometimes go this high ground, and like you can, especially okay, you definitely can at this level because this Zen is completely oblivious to you. But like, that becomes a harder angle to push in higher ranks. I'll just say that. Like I usually just use all my abilities to go behind pretty much the entire point. I pretty much just use everything to go over here, and then I'm then I'm in this room. And from here I can either poke them out this window and I have this mega retreat too, or I can even just come out this way and play from here. But playing the way you did, like, it's fine at this level because they weren't aware. But usually this Zen's just gonna right click you around the corner. It's gonna be waiting for you to come up the stairs. And if you have to like come up this staircase and then he headshots or something, you recall, you're just in such a bad position after that because you're probably gonna end up recalling somewhere where he's just going to be able to like charge his right click during your recall and double headshot you around the corner after. And like at this rank that doesn't happen, but like climb a few ranks and that happens constantly. Which is why I like going this way, because when you play here, like here or here, when you recall, you're at least somewhere where you're immediately able to be in cover, and you also have this mega, and that's also great. And also you're behind them rather than kind of like playing not at the same angle as your team, but a similar one, because like if their team's looking at them from like from this angle, and you're looking at them from here, I don't know. In my mind, that's not quite as threatening as a tracer who is actually like almost at a 180-degree angle from the team. Maybe the difference isn't as great as I'm making it out to be, but it is a difference that will have great impact in higher ranks. IMO. I mean, I would value your life more again, because you let the diva kill you in a one fight where you could have just lived instead of risking yourself and let your team finish up the diva while you sought safety or whatever. So I will say that there are instances where you're not valuing your life as much as I think you should. Just remember that, like right there, you should recall like so much sooner. Like the moment you get that pick on the echo, I either use my final blink to go for a pulse bomb in the room and then recall, or I just recall right away. There's no room to let them damage you that much and put yourself at so much risk. Nice play from there on though. Like you ruled their supports. It's good. Yeah. You gotta like not die to diva bombs, man. You could have just. I know, like, you didn't know that it was going to hit you from there, but you got to assume, if you don't know exactly where the bomb is going to fall, that it can kill you. So, like, if I didn't know where the bomb was going to fall exactly, I would just, like, play here. If I'm, like, 100% certain that it's going to fall, like, over here, then sure, I do whatever I want. But, like, otherwise, the bomb is dangerous. Don't die to that. Yeah, it's still a lot of like playing with your team. Like you could have recalled there immediately after killing the Echo, and that would have been great. But like you shouldn't have those opportunities to even get kills like this as Tracer, because you are playing with your team, and like they should just be able to use every resource in their arsenal to deal with you. But instead they just kind of get antied and they don't really look at you. But like one thing I like to do on this point is just go up this staircase and walk behind them and play from here instead. This is much better than playing with your team again. I did say I don't want to harp too much on like the playing with your team stuff though, so I'm not going to go too crazy. Well, why is that on my screen? All right, nice kill. Yeah, you just playing main with your team and just playing kind of like a almost like your tank. It's holding you back a lot. If you were behind them all this time, imagine if those bullets that you were just shooting into a diva who's getting double pocketed were going into that Mercy. But nice. See, this was good. I like how you're playing in a position here that kind of just makes it difficult to recontest for them. You need to do that. You need to do that more. Just play in positions where it makes it awkward for them. Like your mechanics on Tracer and stuff, like especially for console, are not bad. It's just like, it's just the positioning. IMO. Positioning just looks really wrong. But this is good. Yeah, you heard that echo. She's all alone. Don't crouch walk. You need to I kill her before her team gets over there to help her. I would be triple blinking in and like, okay, maybe I wouldn't triple blink in, but I would double blink to where I could shoot her and then play the corner, so I wasn't just feeding. But I would be getting there as fast as possible and trying to kill that echo. I don't know what she's doing there, but yeah, it was good at least that you had the awareness to go for her. Okay, she has no freeze. They C9'd. That's nice of them. I like how you're not forcing the 1v1 on the Mei, even though she doesn't have freeze, because she's just gonna get killed for it. You should just focus the people in the grab. Like, dude, when you see a big ass grab like that, why shoot the person who still has the ability to move and like you can miss shots on? Just like line up your crosshair with the head of the Mercy in that grab or whatever and shoot them. Like, you were also like 5 to ult. You could have potentially pulsed if it was necessary. In that case, it wasn't. So like, keep in mind when it is necessary, but also just like be looking to follow up on the resources your team is using, because if your Zarya is the only one shooting in their graph, that's 5 times less of, or that's only 1/5 as effective as if all 5 of you are. I mean, like, not mathematically, don't quote me on that. Obviously, like, some heroes do more damage than others, but you know what I mean. So if like a monkey jumps on a Genji, he's not going to kill a Genji by himself, but a monkey jumps on a Genji and then the Tracer comes in and puts a clip into him while his Echo like is shooting a right click at his feet. Like, it's coordination like that that really makes Overwatch what it is, and why team play is so much more dominant than mechanics in this game, because your ability usage in conjunction with your teammates is so much more dominant than your ability to hit headshots a little bit more frequently than the other player. Like, it's so much more important. So like, if you see a Zarya grabbing, you follow up on that shit. If you see a monkey jump in, unless you have to like commit everything and you're going to put yourself out of position, you're not going to get any value. No, you go with him, and you actually make it so that's not a situation that occurs, because you set up in advance before fights in good positions, so that you can easily engage with your monkey when he just jumps in. And that makes your monkey's life so much easier, because he knows that when he's going in, I don't even know I'm talking about monkey, by the way, like, this is no monkey in this game, but it's just an example. Like, it makes your monkey's life easier because he knows that you have follow-up, and if you play in good positions, then your team is going to recognize that they're able to take space that they might not have the courage to otherwise, because they don't expect a peel from their DPS in such positions. Which can be extremely disadvantageous for Tracer, who needs a tank that creates that space for him or for her, because if she doesn't have that, then the enemy team can just kind of commit everything to dealing with you and force you out before you can get any value. But yes, when you have Genji and Zarya on your team, and even the BAP, like, you should be thinking, hey, I can dive with my Genji. I can help follow up on whatever he's doing. I can follow up on graphs. I can even shoot through a BAP window if it's in a position where it's applicable. Like, you should be thinking about these things so that when they happen, you are able to react faster and actually follow up on those things. IMO. Well, yeah. I think like, I mean, I can keep going. I kind of am excited, or not excited. I'm kind of curious how this game ends. So I'm just gonna mostly watch the rest in like double speed, but I'm not going to say that much unless I see something to say that I haven't said already. For instance, this was really good. You see how you were at a flank there? You weren't at the same angle from your team. You were like 180 at a 180 angle from like where your team was looking. So like, you were easily able to kill their supports. And you will be able to do this every time if you just position accordingly. Like, you, not every time, but a lot more of the time. I was kind of unlucky. You did get value, but like, you needed better target priority at the end, I think, and to focus the rest of their team down. Your Genji is rolled. Unlucky miss on the Reinhardt. Yeah, I would have mostly like I would mostly still be trying to look to flank here, but I understand at this point in time it's really hard. But you need to just be using your abilities to go behind them and flank, even if it takes some time. Like, this is good. You just needed to be here a little bit sooner. Or you could have been here ideally a little bit sooner. Apparently you didn't need to be, because this worked out just fine for you. Yeah, so like you played the end really well there. Up to the point, after the point where you get into their backline into a good position, you're playing well enough to climb many ranks above what I think this probably is. It's just you're in those positions so seldom. It's like, it's kind of hard to watch, because I'm like, wow, I see the potential to be good for you to be good at Tracer, and then you're just kind of like playing with your team. All right, gotta see how this one ends. So their Sigma is... Why is their Sigma... What is their positioning? What is their team? Wait, I think I missed something. Oh, I did miss something. You just kind of like destroyed their Mercy. You destroyed their supports. Oh, okay. I didn't think I skipped that much. I skipped a lot more than I thought. But yeah, you popped off. So like there you played well, because you actually like took a flank, took a good position off angle from your team. I would have continued trying to touch and like recontest and recall and like stall as long as possible, but yep.
I will create pathways to...
Wow, their Mercy just lets her fire die. This is insane. Like, this shouldn't be working, but yeah. It shouldn't be working because you were playing inside of your own team again, and their Mercy wasn't pocketing their fire, but like... Yeah, not bad. Yeah, so I think you get the gist. I'm going to end the VOD, but like you get what I'm saying. You need to value your life more. You need to play in off angles and flanks more, and not play with your team more. And you need to have a goal, like a plan. Like my plan is, okay, well, they have Pharah Mercy, but their Mercy's not really pocketing the Pharah, so I'm gonna flank behind them and kill their Pharah, or I'm gonna kill their Mercy if I see them out of position or something. And then I'm gonna kill their Lucio because he won't have any second support in it, so it'll be huge. But yeah, just kind of like going into their team without a plan, like what you're doing, and just playing side by side your tank. It's not gonna get a lot of value in high ranks. I'll just put it that way. But you see, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, good luck with your climb. I hope this was helpful.